Welcome to Alan Berry Reports TV. I'm your host, Alan Berry Labucan from AlanBerryReports.com. Today we have a new installment of our In the News show. This is a program where we talk about resource companies that have recently had news out regarding their various projects. And on today's show, we have three companies to talk about. One is involved with copper, one's involved with platinum and palladium, and the third is involved with gold. So we got a good mix for today's show. Before we get started, we're going to talk about some trends that we're seeing with some of the key commodities and assets that we follow. And but before we get started with that, as always, we like to send out some thank you messages to those that are important in us being able to put these shows out. First of all, if you're watching on our website at AlanBerryReports.com, you'll notice to the left and right of me that we have banner sponsors. Those banner sponsors are really important in us being able to bring these shows to you. And if you wanted to do some homework on those companies, their banners are directly linked to the company's website, so you can directly go and on their websites they have plenty of information about the people that are involved, the projects, the news that they've had out. It's a wealth of information there for you to do your homework and try to understand these companies, and so we appreciate you checking them out. Also, we use YouTube.com as our primary website to do our shows and broadcast them so that you can watch them at your leisure, and they have a great website for anybody interested in doing online shows, and we highly recommend them. And finally, to you, the viewers, you give us an audience to talk to about commodities, resource stocks, the stock markets, and other subjects, and we really appreciate you tuning in to watch the shows, so thank you very much. All right, so on today's opening commentary, I wanted to talk about some trends that we're seeing in some of the key assets that we follow. We're going to get started with gold today. Gold has recently got over the $1,500 mark. This is a sort of a milestone, if you will, and it's really been in a long-term bull market for over 10 years now. And the basics of that is due to long-term underinvestment in the supply chain. The supply is weak, and at the same time, demand is strong from various different sources, led by China and India. Those fundamentals haven't changed, so until they do, we think that the bull trend is going to continue. Lately, in the last day or so, it's had somewhat of some profit taking. This is very normal. We expect to see these kind of profit taking periods during bull markets. Generally speaking, when those profit taking periods come, they're usually over pretty quickly. They are not that severe and over pretty quickly, which is what we expect to see with gold. And then once you have a pullback, I think we're probably pretty close to that support level, maybe a couple more dollars on the downside, and then I think that we could see the next rally. The next one we're going to talk about today is silver. Silver has also been on a long-term bull market. In about the last 9 to 12 months, it's really been exceptionally strong. This has even surpassed our bullish outlooks for the trend. We're now seeing some profit taking. I think that a good 10 to 15% pullback is very healthy for the long-term trend, and I think that we're going to see that happen quickly and be over with and ready for the next rally. And it looks like we're getting some of that profit taking now, and as I said, don't expect it to be very severe or last very long. Next, oil. Oil, we think that has a fear premium built into it right now based on some of the turmoil in the Middle East. I think that has moved the price maybe $20 to $25 beyond the fundamentals. Long term, we're bullish on the based on long-term supply and demand fundamentals, but in the short term, it definitely looks like oil has gone beyond those fundamentals, and by maybe $20 to $25. So we're expecting to see a pretty good correction from the recent highs, and it does look to be topping to us. We've mentioned this the last couple times that we talked about the trends, and it definitely looks like we're now in that correction phase, and that will pull it back. Copper is also in a very bullish trend. It's kind of been going sideways for the last little while, maybe month or so now. It is well primed to finish out the year very strong. We think that strength will take it over $5 per pound, and it's really looking good right now. It looks like it's ready to rally in the near term. The one currency that really affects all commodities is the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is now in resuming the long-term bearish trend that we've saw until about 2009, when it got somewhat of a bid that I can't quite explain, where people thought that it was a place of less risk, and that short-term period of strength is over. The resumption of the bear market started earlier this year. We expect that to continue. The fundamentals are not strong. They're weak. You've got runaway deficits, runaway debt, printing money like it's going out of style. These are a recipe for a bear market for that currency, and that's exactly what we see happening. And because commodities are priced in the U.S. dollar, that is bullish for commodity prices, and we think that investors are much better served to be in commodities, key commodities, than the U.S. dollar. On the resource stock front, we've had very solid moves in gold, silver, oil, copper, other commodities, and we haven't seen as much strength in the resource stocks. We think that this is that they will play catch up to more bullish moves in the commodities, and so we really think that if you're looking for bargains and you want outperformance, any pullbacks or dips are a good place to be looking at resource stocks, and we expect them to outperform. So that's a wrap on some of the trends that we wanted to talk about today. Now we're going to move into talk about the first company in the news that had some news out recently we want to talk about. That company is Nevada Copper Corp. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. They are a banner sponsor on our website. As I mentioned earlier, if you're watching the show on our website, you'll see the banners. That if you're interested in doing some homework on Nevada Copper, you just click on their banner. It's directly linked to their website, where you can go and find plenty of information about the work that they're doing and the news that they've had out. The past coverage, we started coverage of them on in our Allenberry Reports email newsletter. That was on our April the 6th, 2008 edition, which was our 17th edition. We also have had him on several of our past shows. The first time we had him on was on our June the 2nd, 2010 show. If you're interested in finding any of those past shows, just look above me on the website, and you'll notice that we have a report section. In there we have all the past reports, and that's where you'll find that 17th edition. Also, above me on the website, we have a shows section. In the shows section, we have a directory of all the past shows. That's where you can find that June 2nd show. We include in there the dates, an overview of the show, and a link to go watch those shows. So that's a good way to find that June 2nd show. Their website is nevadacopper.com. That's nevadacopper.com. Since we last talked about them on our February 17th, 2011 show, They've had 4 press releases out that we wanted to talk about today, so we'll get right to those. I'm now on their website at nevadacopper.com, and on their website they have a news section, and in the news section we're looking for, the first one we're going to talk about today is the April 4th press release. In that one, the headline is Nevada Copper receives all permits for underground development. Nevada Copper was pleased and announced the receipt of all state and county permits required to commence development of underground access to the eastern deposits of the Pumpkin Hollow project. The underground access will then be further developed for possible future mining as the project advances. Those permits include water pollution control permit, second water pollution control permit for dewatering and reinfiltration, reclamation permits. There's other details in there about these permits, and this is a really important move for them to be able to go underground and get to access to their high-grade deposit at Pumpkin Hollow. So this is a good milestone. The next one we were looking for, the next press release is their April 12th press release. In that press release, the headline is Nevada Copper intersects 415 feet of 1.84% copper. Some very nice intersection of high-grade gold or copper there. Then they go on that they announce positive drill results at the 100% owned Pumpkin Hollow property in Nevada. Drill hole NC11-GT01 reported, where was it? That was the headline hole, the 415 feet of 1.84% copper. They go on that one drill rig is currently completing the geotechnical drilling program for the purposes of the definitive feasibility study scheduled for completion by June 30th, 2011. So it's coming up really closely here. Then upon completion of the geotechnical drilling program, they will use that two drill rigs for their 20,000 meter resource step out and expansion drilling program that will test several areas of open mineralization and prospective targets. Good quote from Gregory French, who's the Vice President, Senior Project Manager, who commented, and I quote, "In addition to collecting geotechnical data within the underground development areas of the E2 deposit, we are very pleased that NC11-GT01 continues to expand the plus 2% copper zones. Expanding higher grade mineralization in the lower portions of the deposit will have a positive effect on future development designs. Our 2011 drilling program, totaling 20,000 meters, is focused on resource step-out and expansion drilling and will follow up newly discovered mineralization from our 2010 resource definition drilling program and recent geotechnical drilling." End quote. Then in the press release, they have the table with the various different assay results from the recent drilling. They have a map attached to this that has it shows the various different targets and zones from their past drilling. It's a really good way to get a visualization of the various different targets and work that they're doing. And again, you can find that in the press release from April the 12th. The next one we wanted to talk about was their April 28th, 2011 press release. In that one, Nevada Copper provides update on feasibility study and engages Merit for pre-construction services. They went on in the press release that they provided an update on the progress of their definitive feasibility study. The DFS is progressing well on detailed mine process plant design and capital and operating cost estimates. General surface layouts are largely complete with locations of Phase 1 and Phase 2 process plants, underground shaft facilities along with the ultimate pit outlines, waste rock and dry stack tailings storage facility areas, as well as conveyor connections. The definitive feasibility study is being prepared by Tetra Tech and targeted for completion by June 30th, 2011. Then they give you some details about the work that they're doing in this preliminary feasibility study, or definitive feasibility study, sorry. And it gives you some really good ideas about the work that they're doing and the goal of what that work is trying to accomplish. And so that you can find in the press release from April the 28th. And then the final one actually was out earlier this morning when we were preparing to do today's show. And the headline from that one is, that's May the 3rd, 2011. The headline from that is Nevada Copper intersects 1,164 feet of 0.49% copper in the Pumpkin Hollow North deposit. They go on that they are pleased to announce further positive drill results from the Western deposit at their 100% owned Pumpkin Hollow project in property in Nevada. The holes reported below represent assay results from geotechnical drilling related to the definitive feasibility study and initial drill results from the current 20,000 meter step out and expansion program. They go on that in the North deposit, NC10-GT09 was drilled to collect geotechnical data in the southwestern portion of the deposit. A very large mineralized zone was intersected. The upper portion of the hole confirmed existing mineralization, and the lower portion continued in new mineralization. Then they mentioned the high grade or the thick intersection from the headline hole, or the headline had mentioned. There's a quote from Gregory French, who's the Vice President, Senior Project Manager of Nevada Copper, and he stated, and I quote, "Drilling in the North Deposit continues to intersect significant zones of mineralization. NC10-GT09 intersected one of the largest mineralized zones to date. The hole proved very positive, as not only was necessary geotechnical data collected and mineral continuity confirmed, the hole was successful in expanding mineralization along the southern boundary of the deposit. Follow-up holes are planned and will be added to the 2011 program," end quote. Then in the they have the table with the various different assay results, and again you can find that on the company's website. And so that's all the key information from the four press releases that they've had out in the last little while. Some of the reasons that we like the company: first of all, we're very bullish on copper. Long-term supply chains are weak. They're not nearly properly prepared for future demand from emerging and developed economies. There is strong demand from emerging economies that's growing rapidly, and the supply chain's not well prepared for that demand. And this is why we have a very bullish outlook for copper. One of our key things that when we're looking for companies to talk about, we're only interested in companies with projects in mining-friendly jurisdictions. And Nevada definitely falls into that category. It is one of the most friendly mining jurisdictions in the world. And this project is, their Pumpkin Hollow project is in Nevada. The key things that brought our attention to the project was that they have two deposits there. They have a high-grade, deeper deposit that would be likely underground mined, and then they have a lower-grade, high-tonnage deposit that is an open-pit target that's near surface. And this gives them a lot of flexibility in trying to assess the feasibility of the project and in a future mining operation. And so they're in a good area. They have very good deposits. There's large resources. They're advancing that quickly with their economic assessment work, and definitely looks like a project that has the potential of becoming a future mine. And so those are all the key aspects of the company that has brought our attention. They're very well financed. They're doing a lot of work. They are generating a lot of news, so the news flow is very strong. We've talked about them a lot on past shows, and we expect to be talking about them a lot in the future as well. And a good place to start your homework on the company is on their website at nevadacopper.com. So the next company we're going to talk about today is a company called Magma Metals Limited. And on the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. We've had them on only one, our past coverage, we've had them on one of our shows on December the 8th, 2010. Their website is magmametals.com.au, which is magmametals.com.au. Since we had them on that December 8th, 2010 show, they've had a couple press releases we wanted to talk about. The first one that we'll talk about today is on their the key project that they have that we're interested in is their platinum and palladium project. And on March the 30th, 2011, they had a press release out with the headline, Thunder Bay North Exploration Update. TBND 233 intersects 53.65 meters at 7.58 grams per ton platinum and palladium, 0.92% copper, and 0.51% nickel. Magma Metals was pleased to provide an update on the winter drilling program at their Thunder Bay North platinum, palladium, copper, nickel project in Ontario, and an outline of their exploration plans for the remainder of 2011. Highlights include a drill hole which tested an electromagnetic EM target in the southern part of the current lake, intersected, as they mentioned, 53.65 meters at 3.86 grams per ton platinum and 3.72 grams per ton palladium, with 0.92% copper and 0.51% nickel. Drilling in the northern part of the current lake and in the Beaver Lake area intersected mineralization outside the mineral resource, confirming the potential to extend resources in these areas. A 30,000 meter exploration drilling program is being designed to test resource extension targets and regional targets in 2011. Then they go on and give you a lot of details about the winter drilling program. There's a map attached so you can get a visual idea of the scope of the various different targets. They give you some details about the drilling results and the focus of the exploration. Again, it's you can find a lot of information on the press release about this platinum and palladium project that we're very interested in Ontario. The next press release that they had out was on their was on April the 14th, 2011. In that one, the headline is Magma completes Australian $20 million placement. They go on that Magma pleased to announce the completion of a Aussie $20 million placement of approximately 71.4 million new fully paid ordinary shares at a price of Aussie 28 cents per share. Then they give you more details about the private placement. And so that was the two press releases we wanted to talk about. Why we're watching this company for their developments is due to the key project we're watching is their platinum and palladium project in Ontario. They're getting some very good intersections of quite promising grades of platinum and palladium. We're very positive, bullish on platinum and palladium, but finding platinum and palladium projects outside of South Africa and Russia is very difficult, and we avoid those countries because of the political risk. Ontario is a very mining-friendly province in Canada, and so this is one that there's a small group of companies that we can follow in the platinum and palladium space that have projects outside of or in mining-friendly jurisdictions, and this project is definitely one. They now have put together pretty large financing there, so they'll have plenty of cash to do exploration drilling on this project, and we look forward to seeing future results from this project. And so stay tuned, check out their website. That's a great place to do your homework. So today's third company is a company we've had on several of our past shows, International Tower Hill Mines. On the disclosure, we're not shareholders of the company. Our past coverage includes they are a featured company in the Alan Berry Report email newsletter. We started coverage of them on February the 2nd, 2009, which was our 22nd edition. We've also had them on several of our shows. The first time was on our May the 12th, 2010 show. If you're interested in finding those past reports, just look above me on the website at the reports section. In there we have all the reports, and that's where you can find that 22nd edition. And also look above me for the shows section. In the shows section we have a directory with all the past shows, including dates, the companies that were featured, and a link to go watch those shows, and that's where you can find that May the 12th, 2010 show, as well as all the other shows we've talked about them on. Their website is ithmines.com, and I'm just getting to their website now. Since we last talked about them on our March the 9th, 2011 show, they've had 3 press releases out that we wanted to talk about today. The first one was on March the 29th. The headline from that one is International Tower Hill Mines intersects additional zones of higher grade mineralization at the Livengood project. They announced that multiple thick zones of higher grade mineralization were encountered in the first 14 holes drilled in the 2011 drill program at the Livengood Gold Project near Fairbanks, Alaska. The drill program commenced in February 2011. Is aimed at confirming the continuity and grade of mineralization at its Money Knob deposit and testing a new, deeper high-grade zone of mineralization at the southern core and southwest zones of the deposit, which was encountered in late 2011. They have 5 or 6 highlight holes. For example, one of those holes hit a 94.5 meter intersection of 1.94 grams per ton gold. Another had a 68.6 meters of 1.36 grams per ton gold. Another had 45 meters at 2.07 grams per ton gold. Lots of good holes in there in that higher grade intersections, with some nice thick intersections as well. In the press release, they give you some really good details about the drilling, the exploration focus. There's also a map that shows the various different places that they're drilling. It also shows a really they have a large zone area where they've done a lot of surface sampling. That surface anomaly has been very helpful in them being able to find their various deposits, and you can find that attached to the press release on their website. And so we'll now move to the next news release. There's a table with all the various different drill holes in there, and again, highlights of the drilling. Lots of information in that press release that you can find on their website. The next one we're looking for is their April 11th press release. In that one, the headline is International Tower Hill upgrades 7.4 million ounces of gold to the measured and indicated category at their Livengood project in Alaska. They mentioned that they announced an updated global mineral resource estimate for the Money Knob deposit at their 100% owned Livengood Gold project near Fairbanks, Alaska. The independently prepared estimate has upgraded over 50% of the gold resource from the company's previously reported June 2010 resource model into the measured category in all 3 principal gold cutoff grade categories, significantly improving the confidence level of the overall deposit. Then they give you a bunch of details about the upgraded resource. That's an important milestone, and they're able to up the confidence level of how much the estimate of gold is, and they've got a really big resource there, and it's growing, and they've got plenty more room to grow with that. And so that was the details from that press release. The next final press release was, as we were preparing for today's show, they had another press release out. In that one, the headline is International Tower Hill Mines intersects 33.5 meters of 8.07 grams per ton gold in shallow drilling at the Live and Good Gold project. They go on that they announced results from a further 29 holes drilled during the company's 2011 winter drill program at the Live and Good Gold project near Fairbanks, Alaska. The winter program, which began in February, is focused on confirming the continuity and grade of the mineralization in the southwest, south core, and sunshine zones of the Money Knob deposit, as well as follow-up exploration of a new, deeper, higher grade zone with a series of 500-meter core holes. And then they have the highlighted drill holes from that recent drilling. Again, good maps, lots of details in the press release. I've been following this company for a few years, and I think that's about the best grades and thickness, or best grades that they've found. Over 1/4 of an ounce per ton gold there in that press release earlier today. So very promising results. As they mentioned in their previous press releases, they got a large resource there, and now it's growing with some of these higher grade intersections. Some of the key reasons that we follow International Tower Hill Mines is they're led by Jeff Pontius. Jeff has had a career now where he's found a couple of very large multi-million ounce deposits. Used to work for a major mining company. Now he's running International Tower Hill Mines. The company he used to work for is a very large shareholder in International Tower Hill Mines. What brought our attention originally to the company was the thick intersections of an open pit target that's near surface. It's in near Fairbanks, Alaska. What also makes this project quite unique is that most of the time in Alaska, companies can't work through the winter due to weather conditions. This part of Alaska is very favorable for them to be able to do winter drilling, and they started this program in February that had these recent drill results out, and so it isn't hampered by weather like many projects are in Alaska. Other attributes to this project is it's near a lot of important infrastructure that will be critical in the economic evaluation of turning this project into a mine. They definitely have a large resource of over 7 million ounces of gold that's growing. And they're doing a lot of work. They've been putting out a lot of news. We expect them to continue that trend, and we expect to be talking about them a lot in future shows. We've talked about them a lot in the past. We really like this project. It is one of the projects that we put into the category of a potential future mine, and we'll continue to watch the developments and see if it continues to grow in that direction as we think it will. So a great place to do your homework, again, is on their website at ithmines.com. That's ithmines.com. And on there you'll find plenty of information about the company. So that's a wrap on our commentary and in the news part of the show. Before closing, we'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. It's important for you to do your own homework and research and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and any efforts you make to let your friends that follow the markets know about our website, our reports, and our shows would be greatly appreciated. We also really appreciate you taking the time to watch these shows. We know that everybody's very busy these days, and we strive to produce a show that brings you helpful, high-quality information and saves you time. We try to do a lot of the research and homework for you, and that's the nature of this show. Our next show will be another In the News show later this week. The best way to keep up to speed on our various different shows and work is to be on our email list. There's no charge to be on our email list, and you look above me on the website and you'll find the subscribe area. Just subscribe, and again, no charge, and we'll keep you updated on all the work that we're doing. We hope you can join us for our future shows. You can find all of our work on our website at allenberryreports.com. We hope to see you soon, and have a great day.